Give it a second. Okay, it's now recording.
We're good?
Give yourself a test. Mix level.
Alright, test. We're good?
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Phil Fleming, and I was recently asked by Dodd Romero's wife, Sabina, to give a testimony about Dodd, about my experiences with Dodd, and kind of how he and I grew up together and developed and interacted. I guess professionally, I'm currently a facilities manager for a high school district out here in Southern California. Love my line of work, like fixing things up and things of that nature. But back to Dodd. Dodd is a childhood friend of mine, so we kind of grew up in the same neighborhood. He was about 3 miles from me, if that, maybe 2. And we went to the same elementary school, we went to the same middle school, and the same high school. And it was around the high school time when we really started getting close together. There was a while during middle school and whatnot, we didn't see each other as much. I had his father as one of my teachers at a middle school there, or junior high school was called at the time, Richmond Heights Junior High School. Dodd Romero's father, Ray Romero, was my science teacher there. And kind of got to know Dodd a little bit better through that. But importantly, with regard to Dodd's character is what I'd like to speak to. Here's a man, and a young man at the time, who was of impeccable character, always helping those that were disadvantaged, particularly the physically disadvantaged, if you will. Always looking to right a wrong, always being about justice. And he and I actually carried it out a few times, and we'll leave some of those stories unsaid. But Dodd is one, ever since we were young men, was absolute impeccable character. The next thing is work ethic is absolutely superior beyond anything I have ever known, and I knew he would succeed in anything that he wanted to do. And he had always told me, when he and I were workout partners, that that's what he was going to do for the rest of his life. And I used to kind of kid with him too, that that's what I was going to do as well. But I kind of knew deep down inside I might take a different path, but I always knew deep down inside he was going to be involved in health and fitness and helping people in that realm. Just an absolute superior work ethic. Discipline is far beyond anything I have ever known, ever. That of a professional athlete, a Navy SEAL, and an astronaut, all rolled into one, without question. When he would set his mind to something with regard to his decision, his work ethic, or a workout agenda we were facing, or accomplishing a goal at the time, the discipline would serve him well at that time. Keep in mind, Dodd and I were workout partners solid for 2 years straight. And one of the things I like to testify to is that right when we started, I was kind of taking a left turn, if you will, getting in some trouble, hanging out with the wrong people and whatnot. And he and I sat down, we met, and says, hey, let's just take this workout thing to the next level. We both really liked working out. Heavy weightlifting is what we were into at the time. Unprecedented for him, and what he didn't know is I was always trying to catch him. And I would work as hard as I could, because I never liked taking second. But back to the decision of getting into it with him, he told me, he says flat out, if you're going to be my workout partner, I want you here all day, every day. And you will do nothing to hurt our workout sessions or hurt yourself. Which means any drugs, any drinking, any carrying on has to end today. If you can commit to that, we'll move forward. That night, I sat down and said, well, I had an opportunity to be with somebody special here who was already advanced in all the various weightlifting, powerlifting techniques. I wanted to get there, and I actually wanted to surpass him. I don't know if he ever knows this, but I always thought I could catch him strength-wise. I never took a liking to second, and I always worked really, really hard along his side to try to catch him strength-wise. But it just wasn't to be. My man was of a different mold. Sometimes I wondered if it was a different planet of a superior strength, one that I had never known or never seen, and I paid attention to professional athletes at the time. but Dodd, by far, was the strongest young man I had ever known. I had an injury around that time. Got into something I shouldn't have, and Dodd was really by my side, helped me through that injury immensely. He'd come to the hospital to see me. I was rehabilitating. He would call out for duct tape and things of these natures to get me back in the gym, and really, really helped me get through a very challenging time in my life. With regard to his faith, without question, he was always a faithful man, a man of God. You could tell every time we'd do a bench press and got into some heavy bench pressing, he would make the sign of the cross, much like this, right over his chest just before he would get ready to put up unprecedented amounts of weight. I remember one time I walked into the gym one night. We decided we were going to start at a certain time. And by the way, the gym is the gym that his father built us. We never knew up to that time what an organized gym was, because his father built us a gym on the side of his house there in Perrine, South Florida, and that's where we worked out. But Dodd's faith was paramount and very important to him, and it was something that I knew that would serve him well and continues to this day. As far as what makes him stand out with regard to his physical prowess, he's just a gifted individual. 1 in a million, 1 in 2 million. Again, a Navy SEAL, a professional athlete, and an astronaut, all tied into one. This young man, and now getting a little older now, was just a superior specimen, and I've always known that. Mentally, he was as tough as they would get. When he put his mind to something, we would do it. He once challenged me. He said, "Now, Phil, this year, we're going to set our 2-a-day workout standard for 1 year. And that my count has that at 365 days. And we're not going to miss a day. So either you're in or you're out." And I said, "Oh, I'm right with you, buddy." So in South Florida, there were times where we were out there lightning and rain working out. And in fact, we went through that 365-day cycle, and I'll never forget it. I've never met anybody in my 48 years here on Earth that had such mental stamina and dedication. His impact on my life was tremendous and is to this day. As you can see, I'm doing this interview here in my weight room because I've always enjoyed lifting weights and always will. But he impacted me immensely, even through my injury, where he would continuously advise me to be strong, keep the faith. He was with me all the time, anything I needed. Truly a brother, and somebody that he's with me even to this day, and he probably doesn't even know it. But he and I, we got into an awful lot, and when he looks at this, he'll remember a lot of it. We did a lot of good things. He was an individual that didn't like to go out much. I actually had to take him out from time to time where we could socialize and be at different events. He didn't like that very much. He'd rather keep to himself. We did everything that we knew how to do in the backyard, in the side yard of his father's weight room there. Was built for us. And as far as he was concerned, we would never leave. I'll never forget one time we had an invitation to a couple other fellow weightlifters there, neighborhood just north of ours. And this is where I knew that this individual was just a superior human being physically. We went to this house, got there a little early. It was dark at the time. And as we were walking up to the house, it was a good-sized house, there was a fenced-in, cordoned-off section there right next to the house where there were 2 attack Doberman pinschers, attack dogs, in there laying. And when we walked up, it startled them. They started barking at me, not necessarily Dodd. So it was amazing to watch what happened next. Whatever reason, the gate was left open. And it was right around that time the owner of the house was coming out of the front door. So I walked my way up to the front door. Dodd, I don't know if you remember this. And as I was doing that, Dodd went into the cage of the 2 Doberman pinschers. Well, I went up to the door to greet the man, tell him we were here for our weightlifting session. And he had asked, "Where's Dodd?" I said, "Oh, he's right back there behind me. He's back there with your dogs." And the man says, "You got to be kidding me. He can't be in there with those dogs. Those are attack dogs." I said, "Oh, well, he's doing just fine with them." So the two of us walked back over, and we stood outside of this fenced-in area where there was two attack-trained Doberman pinschers. And Dodd was in there with both arms, had both dogs up under his arms, and he was petting them from the snout back over the head. And they were as calm as a cucumber. And they loved him. And the owner says, wait, get out. And then as he walked up, he got quiet, and he just kind of observed and said, "Oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. How come they're not biting you?" And when they saw me, the dog saw the owner, they calmed down even further. But it was that type of individual that I remember and will remember, my whole life. So, Dodd, you with me, brother. You always have been, you always will be. I do feel bad about one thing I'd like to mention. When my son was born, Dylan, he was born at Doctors Hospital on the campus of the University of Miami. My friend Dodd, my partner Dodd, my brother Dodd was there for the childbirth, the day he was born. And I appreciate that. I never forget that. Unfortunately, I never did return the favor, and I feel bad about this. When his daughter was born, and then I don't know the details, Dodd, but I guess there was some illness and whatnot, and you guys were able to pull through. I wasn't there for you and for your daughter as well, and I feel bad about that to this day. So I want to apologize for that. If I can give one reason, it was I was a young father. By that time, had 2 children, possibly 3, and I was overwhelmed with the whole fatherhood situation. So, but I do feel bad about that. But I am happy to hear how healthy your daughter is now. I guess she's 17, 18 years of age, somewhere in that area, and everything that you guys have managed to pull through. So, my man, I am just happy to do this. When Sabina first sent the email, the first thing I thought, I was waiting for the day, to tell the story of what we did. And boy, did we do it well, brother. So to this day, that work ethic, that mental prowess, everything you taught me, I was actually able to disseminate down to my kids, same thing. So we use discipline as some folks drink water. It is immensely important to my existence. And so that's my testimony for my friend Dodd. This is Phil Fleming signing off for now.
Good.